Hi, good morning. Well, it's morning for me. I don't know what time you're watching this video, but okay. So last night I recorded the video for like introductions for the course, a little bit about me, and then I said in the video, I'm just gonna stop the video and make another recording about syllabus, and then of course like life happened and it's the next day. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this is the video on going over the syllabus. So hopefully you've had a chance to find this. Like I said, it's, I think I said the previous video. Maybe not. Okay. Well, if you haven't been able to find the syllabus, it's located in there are two locations for it in the course shell. So if you're in Canvas and you're on the left-hand side menu, if you click on syllabus, you'll have access to it. But also if you go into files, there's a folder for the syllabus. So it's in two locations in case. I put it in two places just in case. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. This is so there's no confusion about, like the assignments or when things are due. Okay, so hopefully just like with the previous video, you have me pulled up right now and the syllabus, pulled up on your screen next to it, and you can go back and forth, or watch the video first. It's really up to you. Okay, so but just like before, I have hold on, I have my laptop just off screen, so I'm going to be referring to that. Okay, so the syllabus. So the first page, we'll just go through this, section by section. So of course, my name. It has the location, time, and date. Now, obviously because it's online, there are and I'm not doing live lectures. There's no actual class time. However, I will be making sure that lectures and assignments kind of are scheduled around this idea that we are a Monday, Wednesday course. So certain things are due on Mondays and Wednesdays. I will always have lectures posted by those times. So like Monday, for example, I probably have the video posted on Sunday night, the night before. But it'll always be set up to where, like, if you as a student have set aside that time in your life, you're like, I know it's online, but I have set aside Monday and Wednesday 12:30 to 1:50, then all of the stuff will be available to you then. Okay, how to reach me. So you have two options that I've listed in the syllabus. So Canvas, email. So if you're in Canvas and on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see something that says inbox. If you go into that and, select, I don't know what it is, like create message or something, you should be able to just start typing my name. And because you're in a class with me, my name should come up and you can select it and then send a message. I prefer Canvas messaging because I have it linked to my phone, so I would get your message right away. And if you're looking for an answer to something real quick, then I would probably, unless I'm in happen to be out doing something and I'm in an area with weird service, I would probably get it right away and respond right away. But if you want to turn in assignments through the Canvas messaging, that's fine too. And also through CS and email, if you want to turn stuff through there, that's fine. But just know, I check my CS and email probably every day, but sometimes it's every other day. So if you were like, I really need an answer to something, I would send it through Canvas messaging. The other option that I did not put on the syllabus is that if you want to have more of a face-to-face with me, I do have Skype. So if you would like that option, if you figure maybe something's easier to kind of talk about, video versus trying to type out a long-ass explanation in an email, just say, hey, do you have 10 minutes on Wednesday afternoon or something like that, just to go ahead and send me an email. Or if you have questions about anything in the class, or you have questions about maybe grad school or research or whatever, so if we were in class and I came in 15 minutes early to set up, students are kind of coming in, usually that's the time students might ask me questions. It's like a social time, but it's academic as well, but we're not getting that opportunity. We're not getting that opportunity for you to ask me questions about, school or my opinion on stuff or recommendations on things. And I know sometimes it's easier to have a face-to-face with that. So like I said, you can always email me or message me, but if you want to have that face-to-face, just go ahead and send me a message and ask, we can set up an appointment, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. It's really up to you, but that is an option for you. Okay, so moving on, we're still on page 1 of the syllabus. Moving on, you can see in bright pink, if you're in bold and large font, this is an online course. The lectures will be pre-recorded. I really want to try to do maybe at least 1 or 2 of the lectures live, but I know it was an issue for some colleagues last semester, and I just have a feeling it's going to be problematic. So going forward, I'd like to do it. It might happen, but the plan is for everything to be pre-recorded. So if you are watching, this on Monday, I very likely recorded it like on Thursday or something, or Friday. Usually I record a few days before. So the point of this thing on the syllabus is that it's up to you as the student to keep up to date on all the assignments and the videos. So I will post the lectures will be via video like this, but also I post at least once a week, sometimes more, like video announcements. So sometimes I remember something I forgot to mention, or I post just a quick 1-minute video to remind you guys about an assignment. So I do that a lot just to kind of keep you guys engaged in the class. And then sometimes I'll get an email from a student like, that's a really good question. I'm pretty sure other students might have that same question. So then I'll post a video about that. So the point of this in the syllabus is that it's up to you guys. I can't monitor what you do, so I'm trying to give you all the tools that I can. So it's really up to you as a student to watch these videos. And I'll say, if you decide, well, I don't really want to watch these videos, I'm just going to look at the PowerPoints. I can't stop you from doing that, but you're going to miss a lot of really important information. You're going to, if I have an announcement about an assignment or something, you want to have that information. But just the lectures in general, if you're just looking at the PowerPoint and you don't have a background in any of this, some of it might make sense to you, but a lot of it won't. And especially if I'm asking you on an exam, for example, if I'm asking you a complex question and you're looking at the PowerPoint and you're like, well, the PowerPoint's really, very general. That's most of the time the PowerPoints are general. You need the lecture to accompany it for me to explain it, to get the context, maybe to get some other examples that you can use. So while I can't monitor whether you watch these videos or not, and you just look at the PowerPoints, I would say you're not going to do as well in the class. And in fact, this is analogous to students like when I was teaching on campus, students not coming in the class and just looking at the PowerPoints online and showing up just on exam day. And I've been teaching this class for, I was teaching in California before I moved here, 7 years. Every semester I have at least one student who does that, and I've never had a student get higher than a D when they do that. It sounds like a good idea, and if you're busy, you're like, I'm going to try to make it work. And like I said, I can't stop you from doing that, and if that's what you do, that's what you do. But I would say it's just not a good plan. If you want to do well in this class, if you want to get an A or a B, it's probably not going to happen. You really need to, unless you have a background in this, you should probably watch the videos for the context of the PowerPoints. Okay. So moving on. Okay, so there are 3 books that are required for this class. Hold on. Okay. So this part is a little confusing for students, so I'm going to try to make this clear, which is why why is there this long explanation about the books? Because CSN decided to do this thing with them, and it just makes it a little complicated. Okay, so first is there are 3 books that are required. I did not pick that. I'm sorry. I would have probably only assigned 1 or 2. CSN requires that I assign all 3 of these books. Now it's up to me how much I want to assign from them. They give me a little leeway, not much. But anyway, so these are the 3 books. So I have them. Okay, so here's the textbook. So this is the instructor copy. So your cover might look a little different. In fact, I'm pretty sure it does. I think it's like a dark brown or red or something, and it has something else on the front. But it should still be this book, Anthropology, Appreciating Human Diversity, and it should be the 16th edition. I don't think that they updated it since last year. I'm pretty sure they didn't. So while your cover might look different, it's still the same book. The second thing is this reader. It's called Annual Editions. It has a bunch of articles. We'll be reading some of the articles out of this throughout the semester. I'll go into those assignments in a minute. But this is the second book, Annual Editions, and this should be what yours looks like. It's like loose leaf. It's got the 3 hole punches. You can get a binder and put it in there. So yours should be the same cover, I'm pretty sure. And then the third book, so CSN requires that I assign an ethnography, and they give us a list of 10, and I get to pick from those 10. So I've picked this one. The head man was a woman. I picked this one because I read this book when I took this class years ago, and I loved it. And it's a good book. It's a really, some of the other ones on the list are fine, but I kind of went back and forth about which one I was going to use in this class, but this one's good. It's short. I think it's like, let me see. It's not even 150 pages. It's only 7 chapters. And we'll be doing an assignment based on this too. So you got to make sure you get this. Okay, so that part's easy. There are 3 books for this class. You need all 3. But this is when it gets a little confusing. Okay, so number 1 is you can buy them wherever you want. CSN Bookstore has them in stock, but as you probably know, oftentimes the CSN Bookstore is a little pricier than what you would want. So you might be able to go and get these cheaper on Amazon, or there's like Chegg. A friend mentioned a new one to me, Abe Books, I think is one. So you might, take 20 minutes to kind of price them out and be like, oh, I can actually get it cheaper through Amazon or whatever. Like, that is totally up to you. Number 2 is, while this is, the 16th edition, you might be looking online and saying, whoa, like 14th edition is like $12, way cheaper. Can I just get that? Now you can definitely get a previous edition. I have done that before, like, back when I was doing undergrad. Especially if it's 2 or 3 editions before, it can be like, so cheap. So obviously, financially, like, that might be the best decision for you. Asterisk on that. Double check either like Googling or with a friend who maybe has the current edition, that there are any major changes to like the chapter. So the only concern is that if I assign like chapter 7 and your chapter 7 is really like everyone else's chapter 8, then you've read the wrong assignment. So you can get an earlier edition, especially if it's like 1 edition before or maybe even 2. There probably shouldn't be any major changes. But I had a student one year who went like 3 editions back, which was fine. The content was generally the same. There was a few things that were different, but the price for her was just way cheaper, so she went ahead and did it. But it was like chapter 10 and 12 were like swapped or something, so she checked all of that, and luckily she saw that, so she wasn't doing like the wrong, reading the wrong stuff. So you can absolutely get an earlier edition, but just double check that what you're reading is the correct thing. That's the only thing. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, and this is where it gets a little confusing in terms of the way CSN has set this up. So like I said, I can't tell you where to buy the books, but if you decide you're like, look, I don't want to price them out, CSN has them, I'm just going to get it through CSN Bookstore, it's just easy. You can totally do that. And in fact, I haven't looked for this semester, the prices might all be kind of similar. So if you decide to go ahead and purchase these books through the CSN Bookstore, this is what happens. Like if you were to walk in, or I think now you have to like do it online and like curbside pickup, you would get a hard copy of the textbook. You would also get a hard copy of the reader. You would not get a hard copy of the ethnography. Didn't matter which one I assigned, you would not get a hard copy of the ethnography. In your textbook, when you buy it, so usually it's wrapped in plastic. Somewhere like under the plastic or like in the first page, you'll have an access code that allows you to access 2 of the books as ebooks or electronic books that I've set up for you in Canvas. You would have an ebook of the textbook. So if you're like studying at like Starbucks, you don't have to like lug the textbook around with you. You can just pull it up as an ebook. It's very convenient. And you will also have an ebook of the ethnography. So I'll say that again. If you purchase through the CSN Bookstore, you would get a hard copy of the textbook, and you would get a hard copy of the reader. And then you would also get this access code to have an ebook version of these 2. So you'll not get a hard copy of this one, and there's no e-version of this one. I know it's kind of confusing. I hope that was clear. And luckily, because this is video, you can just rewind it and hear that again. Okay. And I'll post another video like later about how to access the ebook if you purchase it through the CSN Bookstore. So that's the other thing, number 4. If you're like, okay, I'm not going to purchase it through CSN Bookstore, I'm just going to purchase it through Amazon. Don't purchase the main textbook and think, oh, I can just look at the e-version of the ethnography on Canvas. That is set up only for the students who have purchased it through the CSN Bookstore. So like CSN as a university has a deal with the publisher. If our students purchase your books through our bookstore, they get this deal, this like bundle. And the publisher's like, great, yeah, so we set up this thing online and they can access, the ebook, and they get access to the ethnography as part of that package. but that's like a business deal that the publisher and CSN have. So if you're not purchasing it through CSN and you go to log in, like how I have it set up in Canvas, you don't have an access code. You won't be able to do it. So if you decide you're like, I'm not going to purchase it through the CSN bookstore, I'm going to purchase it through Amazon or whatever, you have to make sure you purchase all three. Now you might be able to purchase some of them as ebooks through Amazon. I don't know, but it's not like it's not going to be the same setup as what I have set up in Canvas for those students who have purchased it through the CSN bookstore. I hope that makes sense. I know every semester I get at least one student who's like totally confused by it. And like no surprise, it's very confusing. I don't know why they have it set up this way. It makes sense to have like all three books as hard copies or all three as ebooks. So it's very weird. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Once again, you would get a hard copy of this and an ebook version. You would get a hard copy of this, no ebook version, and no hard copy of this, but you would have an ebook version of this. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now I know, and just to kind of add to that, I know some people, like I really don't like ebooks. Like they're all right. They can be convenient at certain times, but sometimes I like to have a book like in my hand, especially when it's a small one like this. And I'm pretty sure you can buy this online for like, like $10 or $12 or something. And this one, the older editions, like that, should be fine. But I think they've only had like a couple of editions. Anyway, so that's really up to you. Like I said before, I know this is it's a lot of books for one class, 3 books. So take the time to, price it out and do what's best for you. And I sometimes financial aid doesn't come in until like second or third week. And like, I get it. It's totally a hassle. So if you're like, oh, I don't have the textbook, but we've already started, in class reading chapter 1, just know that, you can always go back and read if we're all reading, chapter 3, but you get the book late, like you can go back. It's not like I have weekly assignments attached to the textbook. And the ethnography, this one, we're not really kind of reading, and there's not an assignment attached to it until like towards the end of the semester. Now the reader, we do have, I think the first assignment from this is, let me see, September 9th. Now, because I get that maybe a few of you might be still waiting for the book to come in, and CSN didn't, is back ordered on it or something ridiculous that is no fault of your own. I will post the first, I think I have the first 2 scanned. The first 2 articles from this, and I'll put them as PDFs in our Canvas shell. That way, if you're like, oh, I don't have the book yet, but we have an assignment, you can just look at the PDF. But I'm not going to do that for all of them, but just, maybe just the first one. But anyway, so that buys you a little time. But don't wait, as best as you can. Don't wait. I know sometimes it's hard. Now, also, you have the option, like if you're like, these are really expensive, even on Amazon, or even if I get this discounted rate, it's still expensive. There are I have 35 students. So if some of you are like, look, let's share the book, share the cost, share the book. I've done that. I've done that with friends before. So that's really up to you. As long as you, can have access to them. Maybe one of your friends, you split the cost of the package at CSN, and then you take turns with the book. Like, it's really up to you, Okay, hopefully all that makes sense. Okay, so that was like 10 minutes just on the books. Okay, so moving on in the syllabus. Okay, so there's a paragraph underneath that kind of explains what I just explained to you, but hopefully my description was good. Okay, so course description and course objectives, that is per what CSN has assigned to this class, just what you will learn after taking this class. Okay, so this is probably the more important part of this, the course schedule. So now we're on page 2, course schedule. So you'll see it says course schedule, and then it says there's date, topic, and then book chapter. So for that date, if you look at the corresponding topic, that's what we would be talking about in class. So the video that I will post will be on that topic, and then any book chapter that I'm referencing will be listed. So some students like to read the book chapter first and then watch the video, or some students like to watch the video first and then read the book. It's really up to you what you want to do. However, how you learn best, But just know that those book chapters are associated with that particular video lecture, and then the dates. So as you're scrolling through, you'll see that some stuff is in bold. That is stuff that is due that day. So if you're going through August, and then you see September 2nd, In class or in the lecture video, I'll be discussing culture and what anthropologists do. That's also associated with chapters 2 and 3 from the textbook. But underneath that in bold, you have a syllabus quiz, and I'll talk about that in a second, what that entails. And also you have your first discussion prompt. That's also due. So as you go throughout, I'm sorry, I have like the hiccups. As you go throughout the course schedule, you'll see like when things are due, and this is really good for you. You can, probably some of the best advice I ever got when I was doing undergrad work was get a planner and use it. And especially, I'm assuming most of you are probably taking more than one class. Like you're like, I have all these assignments and all these readings and all these things that I do. Get a planner, take all your syllabi and just put everything in there, and then you're gonna be so organized, and you'll be able to accomplish everything, and you'll be able to kind of keep ahead of everything, you know. So that's my recommendation. So if you take the syllabus and you put things in like, oh, let me look. One of annual editions article number 22 is due on September 16th. So I can put in my planner that on September 13th, I'm gonna, read that article and start working on it or something. It's really up to you how but you have all this information now that you can, kind of plan your semester out. Okay, so you're scrolling through the course schedule, you'll see like when the exams are. So like, for example, the first exam is September 21st. You can see all the topics we're going to be talking about, when things are due, and then also you'll see, like for example, on October 28th, I have in parentheses, it says class discussion on the ethnography. So because we do have an assignment attached to this and we're all reading this, I'll make a separate video where we, like if we were in class, I would say everyone ask me questions, but I'll just do a little video of, just to kind of like go over the first few chapters, make sure we're all on the same page about what you should be kind of pulling out of this book a little bit, what are the important themes. So I'll make a short video on that. Let's see, also, let me see, there was another one. You see like where the documentaries are, when the ethnography papers due. Sorry, I'm just staring off screen. Yeah, so okay, and then you'll see also where there might be, it said like no class. Now we're not meeting on campus, but I just wouldn't post a video for that day because it's like a holiday or something. So that should be pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions about that, obviously reach out. Okay, so the next section, so now we're on page 4 and it's the grading. So I made this class out of 1,000 points. That way it's pretty easy for you to figure out, like if you're in the 900s, you're getting an A. If you're in the 800s, you're getting a B. It's pretty easy. I've had classes where the total is like 532. You're like, what the, how are you supposed to figure out you can, but it just makes it so much easier when it's like a nice like round number like this. Okay, and you'll see the different assignments that are due throughout the semester. Now I'll go over those individually in a second, but if we go through them just in the grading scheme, you see exams. There are 3 exams. Those will be essay exams. The annual edition, so you'll be doing some very, very, don't stress, very short assignments out of this, which is why you need that. You have a paper. Don't stress about that either. Short and sweet paper based on the ethnography. And then easy points for everyone. I will assign 2 documentaries. You'll take some notes and you'll get points for that. And also learn a little bit. And then of course the syllabus quiz and participation. And you can see how those add up. Okay, so now I'll actually talk about what those assignments entail. Okay, so we're scrolling down a little more, so we're still on page 4, but at the bottom it says assignments. The first one is annual editions. So that's out of this reader. So what you have to do, so there are 10, and it's underlined right here. There are 10 articles that are assigned out of the reader, 10 articles. So I think there's like 50 or something in this whole book, so I'm not making you read the whole thing, just a few. And the ones I have assigned, most of them in the book, but also the ones I have assigned are short. Some are literally like less than a page. Some are like 3 or 4 pages. They're not that long. My goal is not to overwhelm you with work. It's to kind of pick some things that are going to help you learn. I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of stuff. I just want to know you're taking the mental time, even if it's 5 minutes, to kind of learn a little bit. So there are 10 articles, and if you go through the course schedule, you'll see, which one. So it will say like annual editions number 17, that's article number 17. Annual editions number 56, that's article number 56. And in the annual editions, in the very front, like in the table of contents, you'll see you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so there are 10 articles that are assigned out of that. The due dates are on the course schedule. For each article that is assigned, I'm reading right from the syllabus. Students are required to turn in a bullet point list of 5 points. That's it. That's all I want from you guys. You don't need to give me like some long, 2-page paper on the, no. Some of these articles are less than like a page long. So for me to ask you to write a page, like I'm not gonna have you rewrite the article. What I wanna get out of these 5 bullet points, and like per what I said in the syllabus, give me a complete sentence, maybe 2, for each bullet point. But I just want to know you read it. I want to know you read it, you took some important information out of it, whether it's a page long or 5 pages long, whatever it is. I just want to see that you read it and understood some important things out of it, and that's it. Like I said before, I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys with stuff. So this, if the article is a page or 2 pages long and I need 5 bullet points, that whole assignment would take you 10 minutes to do. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you with anything. I just want to know, like the articles I've picked are really pertinent to what we're talking about in class. And so my goal is that you learn something. Not that you're overwhelmed with work. So 5 bullet points. Like it says here, these bullet points should be coherent, full sentences. I have submit as either a hard copy, and that's from the old, when we were on campus. So obviously it's electronic. And then per what it says here, you like standard Times New Roman 12-point font. I do not have a Mac. Do not send me a dot pages. I will not be able to open it. Send it to me in a doc or docx, or you can convert it to a PDF if you do have a Mac. Just convert it to a PDF and send me that. That's fine. Do not send me a Google Doc, because I've had students in the past. I'm like, sure, that's not a problem, and it's always an issue because students forget to like unlock it, or like it's just only docx or PDF. If you're like, oh, I don't know how to convert to a PDF, or you're just like confused about this, please reach out to me. It's not a problem. We will work with each other on that. Okay, moving on. So the next thing, page 5, the headman was a woman. So that's this ethnography. You have to read this, and then you have a paper assigned to it. Now this book, like I said, is not that long. In fact, if you sat down like on a Saturday afternoon, you'd be able to read this. It's not like a very dense read. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna have to process this like philosophical stuff. No, it's just a nice, short and sweet book. I think it's very interesting. So don't be overwhelmed with it. It's not that long, and it's not that complex. But it is very good, and it's very like pertinent to this class. You do have a paper that's assigned to that, and let me just my computer decided to act up on me. Okay, it is due on November 25th. So that's like at the end of the semester, so you have plenty of time. So and obviously you can work ahead, and you're like, oh, I want to turn that in early, you can do that. Most students do not, but that's up to you. Let me go back to where I was. Sorry, I was scrolling. Okay, so you do have an assignment attached to this. The term paper, so you can see here that it says, on the syllabus, you'll be reading this ethnography, and then you have to turn in a 3 to 4 page, double-spaced summary of this ethnography. So basically, this is just like, a college version of a book report. That's all. You don't have to do a research paper. Now, in other classes, you might, if you were to take the intro to bioanthropology with me, we do like a short research paper. But for this class, you're just going to give me a book review of this article. Now, pause. I need a tissue. Hold on, guys. Okay, sorry. What was I saying? I forget what I was saying. Okay, so about the ethnography. 3 to 4 pages. If you think that's long, it's not. Just know that other colleagues, my colleagues that teach the same class, like the same intro to cultural anthropology, when they assign to their students like a 10 to 12 page research paper. So I'm not doing that. So you're fortunate that I'm not doing that. I remember what I was going to say. So in Canvas, there is posted in files, you'll see a folder for directions on the paper. So if you I want to get ahead and work ahead or whatever, you can do that. There's some helpful writing tips, like how to write in a science class, and also more detailed than what I'm giving you here, more detailed instructions on the paper. So you can do that. But like I said, basically it's just a book review, a book report. But if you want more specifics than that, there is a document in files in our Canvas shell that goes into like what exactly I want from that. But still, not a difficult or hard assignment. The book is short, the assignment is short. So that assignment's worth the most points in this class. So that's kind of as hard as it's going to get in this class. And you all semester, and it's not that long. Okay. Next thing, syllabus quiz. So this is the first thing that you guys are going to be doing, and this is going to be happening on, let me just double check the date, September 2nd. The syllabus quiz. That'll be a quiz you take in Canvas. So on the left-hand side of the screen when you're in Canvas, it should say like quiz or quizzes. You click on that, you should be able to see it. Now, right now it's locked, so you can't open it because I have it locked until that day. But it'll be due that day. So I think I have it that you can access it between like 7 a.m. and like, midnight or like 11:59 for that whole day. But once you open it and start it, you have 30 minutes. But you can do it anytime throughout the day. So if you're like, oh, I work in the mornings, I'll take it in the afternoon, you can do that. Or if it's the opposite, you work in the afternoons, you'll take it in the morning, you can do that. I think I have it opening at 7. So if you're like, I want to get it done first thing, 7:01, open the quiz, you can do that too. It's really up to you. But it is timed, you have 30 minutes. But it's not that long, there's just a few questions. The whole point of the syllabus quiz, now you obviously, even when I taught this in class, I told students, print out your syllabus and bring it with you, or pull it up on your laptop. I'm not expecting you to memorize the syllabus. I'm not expecting that at all. The whole point of this is, one, it's easy, really easy points for you guys. But the whole point is that I want you to get in your head that if you have a question about this class, 98% of the time you will find the answer in the syllabus. I spent a lot of time on this document, so you have all the information that you will need. Now, you don't need to memorize it, but the point of this quiz, and you'll see as you take it, like what the questions are, that it's just a way to get you guys to understand that whatever question you have, whether it's about when something's due, or what the instructions for an assignment are, or what book is required, like all of that information is in the syllabus. So I expect that during this time when you were taking this timed 30-minute quiz, which I think there's like 12 questions or something, you have the syllabus either printed out, that you printed it out next to you, or you have it pulled up on your laptop or something, and you Control F and can search that, and I expect everyone to get 100% on this quiz. Now, if you miss 1 point, it's not the end of the world, but I don't think I've had anyone get less than an A. Like, even if you miss like one question, you probably still get like an A-. I've never had anyone get a B, like plus or lower on this quiz ever. I'm doing this for like 3 years, this quiz. It's just a way to get you guys familiar with the quiz, and it's super easy points for you. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't skip that. Okay, next thing, documentaries. There will be 2 documentaries, and when it comes time for those documentaries, I'll post like a link to them in Canvas, and there will be notes associated with that. I'll explain that later, but super easy points. I think one of the documentaries is like 30 minutes, and the other one is probably a little longer. I forget now. I have to think about it. But instead of going to class that day or sitting down and watching me, you'd be able to put on a short video, or documentary, take some notes. Super easy, fun points. Okay, don't skip that. I get students like, oh, I don't need to. This is just a documentary. There's no assignment attached to it. That's incorrect. There are easy points attached to it. Okay, so exams is the next thing. So we're on page 5 still. There are 3 exams in this class. They are a short answer essay. I will be posting a study guide for them that are just things like you might want to review. But it's a short answer essay, and it's not really timed in the same way the syllabus quiz is. Oh my God, can I talk? This is how it's going to work. So I will post the document in Canvas 3 days before it's due, maybe 4, depending on if it's like a weekend or something. You will have a minimum of 3 days that you will have access to the document in Canvas. And on the syllabus, it says, go to Canvas, then Files, and then Exams. And it'll be like Exam 1. It'll be like just in a Word document. The instructions on that document will be very clear, and then you will, write your short answer essay. You'll have 3 full days to do that, and then you will, turn it into me either via CSN email or Canvas email, either one. That should be pretty self-explanatory. I will, however, also before that 3 days, usually maybe at like 5 days before it's due, I will post like kind of a study guide, like here's prep for things you might want to, review, notes you might want to have prepared, in terms of what you're about to get in this exam document. But you will, even if you don't look at the study guide and you just look at the exam, you'll still have 3 days. So plenty of time for you guys. I hope that all makes sense to you. But they are short answer essay. If you're wondering, like, what does she mean by short answer? The instructions are on the exam, like exactly what I mean, like how much and what I mean by that. So those, there's some writing involved, but you have plenty of time. You have plenty of time for that. And if you have any questions, obviously reach out to me. If you're like, okay, I'm going to open it on the first day and I have 3 full days. You're like, oh, this first question, I'm not really sure what she means. Does she mean this? Does she mean that? You can obviously email me and ask me, and you will have available to you also in this 3 days, all your notes, the PowerPoints, the videos you can review. So there's really no reason why all of you shouldn't be getting, A's and B's on these, because you have, it's an online class. You have all these tools available to you. You have 3 days to write these short answer essay exams. And the video, like I said, the videos, your books, everything, Google, everything is available to you. Okay. Participation. So throughout the semester, you have to participate in 3 discussions that I will have posted in the discussion board on Canvas. So if you go to, it's like, if you're in Canvas, it's on the left-hand side, like discussions or something. You'll see it's like prompt 1, 2, and 3. And in the course schedule, let me scroll up real quick. In the course schedule, it shows when they are due. So like, for example, the first one, discussion prompt number 1, is due on September 2nd. The second one is due on October 19th. There's only 3. Throughout the whole semester, there's only 3. And the instructions are on the prompts. So if you're like, well, what does she mean? If you go to it in Canvas, it'll be like, prompt 1, blah, blah, blah. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what I expect from you to get your points for that. It's nothing super difficult. I just want to know that you guys, at least 3 times during the semester, have logged into Canvas, can answer a brief question, make a comment in the discussion board, and that's it. Like, I want to know that you guys know how to navigate all this. You're kind of checking in. That's it. I know some of the other professors, like, have their students do like a weekly. That's a lot. Like, you guys are already doing all this other stuff. Plus, I'm assuming you have other classes. I think a lot of other instructors forget. Like, my students probably have other classes. They probably have multiple classes, like 4 or 5. So just 3 times throughout the semester is when those are due. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think for those I have them open, like they have a due date, but they're open like a few days before. So there's like a 3 or 4 day period, I think, where I have it set up where you can, go in and do that prompt. Nothing too difficult at all. Okay, so missed exams or assignments. So if you miss an exam, so if it's past the due date and you haven't turned it in, now I have this, the wording here is how I had it worded with the in-class course. It's a little different because makeups, I don't have to have like a place to do a makeup exam. But the wording still kind of is the same, that if you're like, oh, I missed turning an exam too, you can't just then turn it in without there being a major issue. Like, you're going to get marked down. That's the thing, is you're going to get marked down for any assignment, whether it's the ethnography or the article review summaries, anything that's late, you'll get marked down for. Now, you can still turn it in. I know other teachers who are like, if it's late, don't even bother. You'll get a 0. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. You get 10% off per day. But for exams, what I need from you is something, I need an explanation. Now, the wording in the syllabus is very stern, but in reality, please just reach out to me. I want to know why you didn't, since the exam is available for so many days, like, what's going on. And I don't need, some concrete documentation. I just want communication with you guys. So maybe you're sick and maybe you have a doctor's note. That's fine. You can show me that. But like, that's your personal business. Sometimes life just happens. Like, we are all adults. I get it. Like, some of you probably have children or jobs, or 2 jobs. And sometimes it just gets difficult. Please just reach out to me. And I will say this multiple times throughout the semester. Like, I'm always here for you for anything that you guys need in terms of this class, or sometimes outside of this class. I'm not here to make it difficult for you. I don't want to trick you guys. I'm not trying to make everyone fail. I want you guys all to do well in this class, and I want to make sure I provide the tools for you to do that. And if you need an extension on something, please just tell me. Just say, hey, I got called into work and I really needed the extra hours, and it was the same few days when this assignment was up and now it's not, and I don't know what to do. Please just, reach out to me and we will figure something out, whether that's giving you an extension or extra credit or whatever it is. Like, we'll figure it out. So don't stress. But I am supposed to put some kind of wording in the syllabus letting you guys know that for certain major assignments you do have to communicate with me. So that's why in the syllabus it's that way. But also, like, for the other things, if you're turning in one of the, the assignments from the year, like, oh, it's a day late, like, you don't need to really reach out and tell me why, because it's just those 5 bullet points. You'll just get marked on 10% each day. So even if you're like, oh, it's like 3 days late, oh my god, 3 days late, you can still get a C. Don't not turn something in just because it's late, especially something like the paper, because it's worth so many points. You're going to lose a lot of points if you just decide not to turn it in, versus like turning it in even 2 days late. You can still get a B. If it's a solid paper, you can still get a B. 3 days late, you can get a C. Even 5 days late, 50% F. A 50% F is way better than a 0% F. Think about that. So don't not turn some of these assignments in, especially the assignments with more points. Okay. So I still have in the syllabus technology in the classroom, because that's just kind of standardized in my syllabus, but obviously that doesn't apply to us because we're not in class. Okay, extra credit. Extra credit, students ask me this all the time, I need extra credit. There is no limit on how much extra credit you can turn in, because hopefully with any extra credit you do, you're learning. That's the whole point. There are 2 options, but usually most students use option 2, and especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, I don't think option 1 is really going to work for anyone, like attending a lecture, Number 2, usually this is what students do. You can find documentaries like on Netflix or Amazon or YouTube, and if it's related to this class in some way, like if it's, I think I have it listed here, if it's related to anthropology or sociology or history, you can watch it. Please send me a quick email. Hey, Professor, I saw this documentary on Netflix. Just type the name of the documentary so I can look it up. Will this be okay to do for extra credit? And then I will say, yes, sounds good, go for it. Or no, I don't think so. So just let me know. Don't start turning in a bunch of extra credit. And I'm like thinking, I didn't approve any of this, and this is not related to this class. Because I've had students do that. They turn in stuff that's clearly not related to the class. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you, like, yes, sounds good, go for it. And then you can, per the instructions here, just give me a brief summary. The instructions are in the syllabus. You can read it for yourself. And you can get extra points for that. There is a date where I won't accept any more extra credit. It's like a week before. It's like the week before finals week, just so I have time to, like, grade it all and that. I hope that's clear to everyone. So, and like I said, no time limit on when you want to turn that, or not no time limit. No, there's no limit on how much. So if you want to do like 17 documentaries, like, you can do that. I've had students towards the end of the semester, they're like right on the verge of like a B+, A-. Like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do on the final. I want to do a bunch of extra credit to really pop my grade up into that A range. And I've had students do that. Like, one student, I think, like last year did like 9 documentaries. And based on the notes, like she clearly watched them, because I'd seen a couple of them before. So I was like, okay, that's really up to you. Or you might just want to do 1 or 2, or you can do none. That's up to you. Okay, and then of course I have here in blue that I reserve the right to change anything, because sometimes things just happen during the semester and I have to make some adjustments to things. So the rest of this is stuff that CSN is required for, like, has required of me to put in here. So safety procedures, stuff about the Americans with Disabilities Act. So even with online, you might still need a accommodation, and if that is something you need, please reach out to me and we will get all that stuff sorted out. So if you need like extra time on something, if you have that accommodation through the through CSN, the official documentation, and you need an accommodation, please reach out to me and we will get all that set up for you. Academic integrity, so don't cheat. Now with an online class, you're like, well, what constitutes cheating? Because, like, obviously I've already told you, for like the syllabus quiz and even your exams, it's open note, open book, like, because why not? Like, you're still learning something and you have all these tools available to you, so please use them. But there are still opportunities in this class to cheat, which I hope you do not. For example, if you're like, I don't want to read this book, I'm just going to find an essay online that someone wrote, or copy and paste from Wikipedia. guys. 90% chance I will catch that right away. And in fact, this happened last year. I had someone try to pull this over, and it was very obvious the way they had done it. It was very obvious that they were plagiarizing. When that happens, I am supposed to notify my department and let them know this student has cheated. I don't want to have to do that with you guys, especially with none of these assignments are particularly difficult. And I've let you know, I am here for you if you need extra help with anything. Even when it comes to the book, you're like, oh my God, she's going to kill me. I didn't even read it, and it's due tomorrow. There's no way she's going to give me an extension. Like, I might, in my mind, be thinking, oh gosh, be disappointed for a second, and then I will work with you on it. Like I said before, life happens. Sometimes I totally get it. Work, family, health, just reach out to me and let me know, hey, I didn't read the book. Can I, I'm going to read it tomorrow when I'm not working. Can I get 48-hour extension on that? I will work with you on some of that, but you have to communicate. You can't just not turn something in and say, hey, I need an extension. That's not going to work. There needs to be some communication about what's going on. Okay. So the point of that was, don't cheat. Please don't cheat. If you cheat, I have to report it, and I don't want to have to do that to you guys. You don't want to do that, especially when I'm telling you there's no need for that. I will work with you on any of this stuff. There's no need to do that. Please don't do that. The next stuff, okay, so other things like for CSN, like if you need counseling or academic advising or tutoring, all that stuff is available to you. So all that information is on the syllabus, like phone numbers or websites you can access. Library. Then there's also at the very end of it, they had us add this recently about COVID. Some stuff about that if you want more information about any of that in terms of like the school. Okay, so that's the end of the syllabus. I'm pretty sure I covered everything, but if you have any questions, if I wasn't clear, if you're like, well, she wasn't really clear on that one assignment, please reach out to me and I will answer your questions. I'm pretty sure hopefully I was clear on everything. But also throughout the semester, like I said, I'll be posting those weekly announcements, or sometimes more than once a week. So when for example, when exam 1 is due, I'll probably post like a 2-minute video announcement on exam 1. Hey everyone, don't forget exam 1 is due in 4 days. I'll be posting the document on Canvas tomorrow. But like I'm gonna give you guys some reminders in terms of like video announcements and oftentimes the written announcements too. I'll be giving you guys reminders. But everything, the directions and assignments are really clear. Like on the exams or on the discussion prompts, when you go into them, you're like, oh, the instructions are quite clear. So, okay. So that's all for the syllabus. Hopefully that was clear to everyone. Please feel free to reach out to me via CSN email, Canvas, messaging email, and if you want to have a Skype, please, feel free to reach out for that. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys soon.